Well, good morning, gardeners and homesteaders. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, and welcome back to Sandy Bottom Homestead. I'm going to talk about my seeds today. I've just got all my seeds in that we ordered, and we're going to go over what the new varieties. I'm not going to give you all the seeds, but the new varieties I got and why we wanted to grow those new varieties and try them. Because, you know, it's always a path to find something that you just really love to grow. Not that I don't love to grow everything, but you know, you just want to find the right thing. But first, I just fertilized this garden, and I want to give you a little bit of an update, not a full one, just a little teeny weeny one. Super exciting. And then we'll get into the seeds. So, I mean, boy, oh boy, look at that. We got Brussels sprouts, ladies and gentlemen. And the good thing is it's been so cold that they look like they're gonna actually be tight. So we'll at least get 1, 2, and 3. There's a third plant over there with Brussels sprouts on them. And the good news is they're not all going to come at once. So that's personally good news because I don't want to get them all at once. I do want them spaced out, so it's going to work out just right. And the cabbage bed is looking very good too. We shot everything with some fertilizer last week, which was an uphill battle. More on that on another video, but we got it done, and yeah, the fertilizer really did help. I mean, it was like a couple days later and you could really see the difference. It's greener, things were sitting taller. It did help that we had a little bit of warm weather to kind of push it. So we've been timing for the warm weather, and when the warm weather comes and it's going to stay for a couple days, we'll push some fertilizer and then we'll back off. And I also went back and added some granule fertilizer in too, just to let it over time start to break down, because it's going to take a long time in the cold. Ooh, it's a little bit chilly today, but we got all our seeds. Now again, I do want to get a couple things out of the way. These are the new seeds that we're going to grow this year, the new varieties. And then also I'm in zone 8B in North Carolina. If you've seen previous videos, it says 8A. We just got our zone upgraded by a little bit, so we're in zone 8B. And I also want to go on the record and say that I'm not loyal to any seed company. I am loyal against certain seed companies, but as far as like where I order from the seeds that I want, who has the best prices, the best deals. I did a lot of Black Friday shopping, which is typically what I do to try and save money. That's why I get them early. And I just try to get, if I need a certain seed and the prices fit well for me, then I'll order more seeds from that company. So that's kind of how I work it. So you're going to see a mixture of companies here. And like I said, I'm not loyal to any one of them. They're just whatever. A seed is a seed is a seed to me. So I'm not going to start in any specific order. It is kind of a special year for me. My first seeds I ever started, the first seeds I ever bought were botanical interests. And so I ended up buying them as the first time since I ran out of those seeds like 20 years ago. That not 20, probably 13 years ago, that I just went and got another order from them again. They were in a store, and that's where I got them before, so it worked out pretty good. But we've been looking for a determinate tomato, and I wanted a heirloom determinate tomato because I do like to save seeds, and I'm kind of looking for something special. And so we ordered a couple different tomatoes this year, which isn't usually my MO. I typically grow Romas, but this year we got Ace 55 bush determinate tomatoes, and these are an heirloom. So we like to grow heirlooms because of the disease resistance and the way they grow. You know, they put on all their fruit at once and then it goes away. So we don't really have to worry about the crazy hot or anything. So we got the Ace 55, but then I also, just for funsies, because I've seen the production that these plants will give too, we got some red snapper potatoes from Haas. And so I've heard a lot about them. I've seen a lot of people grow them, especially in the South. So we really wanted to try those out this year and give them a shot just to see like, what is it all about? You know, we can't save the seed from it, but we would love to grow a couple plants and just get some high production. So we're going to do that as well. That, as far as tomatoes, that's the only one that I've got. I do have a broccoli here. So this isn't a new one, but it kind of is a new one. So we got Green Magic broccoli. We bought Green Magic last year, but we kind of had a oopsie daisy this fall with broccoli, and it looks like we're gonna get one head out of the 20 plus that we planted. It happens. So we want to try Green Magic again, so I just replaced the seeds. It's kind of a toss away, but kind of worked out in our favor. They just seem, they are, I believe it was heat tolerant as well, and so that's what we wanted, because when we plant in the spring, depending on our weather, it could heat up really fast, and we don't want to trick it into bolting. So it'll kind of help minimize the chances of that. Staying along those lines, I did get some new carrots. So I got 2 different kinds of carrots here. And for the past, I want to say this is my 3rd or 4th year growing carrots. I really enjoy growing them. They're a pure joy. I mean, pulling up a carrot is nothing better. And we typically grow Scarlet Nanes or Danvers carrots. And they were basically heirlooms. We tried to save seed one year, it just didn't really work out very well. So we went on and we wanted to kind of test the waters a little bit. So I got Hercules carrots. To be totally honest, I just like the name. I didn't see anything that really pushed me and drove me to go in that direction. But we got that, and then we got the red cord châtenay. I believe I'm saying that right. And this seems to be a more frost tolerant variety. Not that we have a big issue with carrots, but we could just get them started a little bit more early. So we're gonna try that as well. And this is an heirloom, the red cord one. I'm not even gonna try and say the second part of the name anymore. It didn't feel right coming out. But we did get these, and I'm excited to try them. I want to do a side-by-side of them and see which one does better. And we should be, I would say we're about maybe 2 months out from starting these seeds. So we'll put them directly out into the garden. But I'm excited to see how they'll grow and what we can actually get out of them. Staying in line with spring vegetables, we got 2 different kinds of lettuce. I view lettuce in 3 different categories. I view it as bib lettuce, romaine type lettuces, and then head lettuces. I've never grown a head lettuce. I don't really like head lettuce, so I'm not like super interested in growing it. Bib lettuce isn't my favorite, but we do obviously have some growing, but we really like romaine. So one thing that I grew one year was this little gem lettuce. So we searched high and low to get it, and we found it, and I'm really excited about it. It's a fast maturing seed, so it should be anywhere from 20 to 68 days. So we can get, but it's a smaller head of lettuce, and I say head, it's a romaine head, but it gets to be about this big, and it's perfect. But now I say that, but I also grew them and they got that big. So there is that. And when it starts to warm up, they do amazing. So we kind of went back to that one. But then as far as the romaine goes, this is a more frost tolerant variety, and this is a Vivian romaine. So we wanted to grow this just because of that. We could sow it a little bit earlier, and we're probably gonna push our seed starting date up a little bit because it is a more frost tolerant variety. Doesn't mean that we may necessarily plant it earlier, but at least we'll have it ready if we can, because I don't really know how the winter is gonna play out. We got this El Nino thing going on, and everybody's talking about global warming, and one year it's hot, one year it's cold in winter, one year it's dry, one year it's wet. And right now it seems like it's shaping up to be a wet and dry winter, or a wet and cold winter. But we'll just have to take it one day at a time. But we're definitely gonna try to put this Vivian romaine out a little bit earlier. And this little gem is gonna be really good to put into the greenhouse. So we'll probably get that into the greenhouse, I would say around middle January to early February. We can put some of this little gem in there as long as we have room for it. So that'll be exciting. So we'll move on to the hot peppers. And typically for the past couple of years, I've grown Craig's Grande jalapenos, and they're great. Probably still going to start some more of those seeds and grow them. I didn't have a good jalapeno year this year, but I put them in a compacted bed. No big deal. But this year, and this is for my son, we decided to grow the Megatron for the son jalapenos. So these are bigger jalapenos. They're hybrids. So we'll see. And I mean, 10 seeds were $5. So there's that aspect of it too. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, but it was just something that I wanted to try. I'm not really big, and I know this is the second seed this year that you've seen me talk about that I've spent a little bit more money on. But, you know, I think my son will really like seeing a Megatron jalapeno grow. And if it lives up to its name, it should be 4.5 inches long, so that's about that big. That's a pretty good size jalapeno, so it won't take a lot for canning. And we'd really like to can our jalapenos. So we're going to be doing that. And then as far as sweet peppers go, we typically we've grown for the past couple of years lipstick peppers. And we've got a pretty good stock of seeds that we've saved of those. Those are a nice solid heirloom. They grow probably about the size of a seed packet as far as length, but they're really, really sweet. And they're pretty productive. But we wanted to go back to a more bell pepper seed. So this year we decided to go with King Arthur bell peppers, and these were a more productive seed, and that's what we wanted, because typically what I found, especially with heirloom bell peppers, and I'm pretty sure this is not an heirloom, it doesn't say, but I'm 90% sure it's not, is the hybrid ones will produce more and bigger peppers. So we wanted to try that. The downfall of it is we can't save seeds from it, which is a big downfall because pepper seeds are so easy to save. And I do have another, I couldn't find the seed packet, but it's a Marconi seed packet, or bell pepper, I believe is the name of it. And we got that from Southern Exposure Seed. So we do that, and I do order a lot of seeds from Southern Exposure, basically because they're seeds grown in the South for the South in the Mid-Atlantic. So we want to take advantage of that. And that would be heirloom. So if we like that one, we can save it. And we'll just go really easy on these King Arthur peppers and try and make the seeds last a couple of years. They were a quicker a quicker grow time. So supposedly 60 days. Now, there's a whole video inside of that grow time that we'll get into eventually, but that is kind of that's why we went with it, because it was supposedly a 60-day period, which means if we start our pepper seeds around February 15th, which is what we'll do, and then we'll put them out somewhere around April 15th, typically I would say they would be growing a lot faster. So they may have to be put out earlier, or we may have to up pot them, but we should start to get peppers probably, I would say, a month earlier than normal, which would be a really big deal. So we'll just see how that goes. Now, winter squashes. We grow winter squashes of some sort every year, and typically I'm on an every other year rotation with butternut squash. For the simple fact is we get so much of it that I get tired of eating it. Last year we did Seminole pumpkins, which are going to be grown again next year for sure. We tested out this year and we really liked it, so we'll do another vine of it or two. And we may end up doing a butternut squash just for the variety, but we're also going to try this honey boat squash. Never tried it. You know, raising bees and stuff, it's got the name honey in it, so whatever. We'll see how that works, but it's supposed to be a sweeter flavor. So we're going to go with that. It is an heirloom, so we'll be able to save the seed, which is good, especially for stuff like this. Like anything that the seeds are really easy to save, we try to stick with heirlooms as much as possible. But again, the hybrids are really outperforming across the board, so we'll do that. But this is an heirloom, so we should be able to save the seed. And if we get, I don't know, 8 honey boat squash off of one plant, I'll be happy with that. That would be enough between the honey boats, the butternut squash, and the Seminole pumpkins. That should be about 4 to 5 months of weekly squash intake in our diet. So it should help out for us. And then we're growing watermelons again. I just dropped them on the wet ground. That's not good. We're growing watermelons again. Last year I tried to grow sugar baby watermelons. I got about this big, and I actually enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I kind of crammed them into bed, and because they were a smaller watermelon anyways, I wasn't overly concerned about it. But we grew this variety years ago, and we got like a 50-pound watermelon. And there's just something about a watermelon that just, it shouldn't be, you know, basketball size or something like that, smaller, I don't know, softball, something like that. So we went back to our Crimson Sweet watermelon, and I actually accidentally ordered 2 packs, so we've got plenty of seeds. It is an heirloom, I believe, 90% sure it's an heirloom, which means we can save the seeds, and we did enjoy it last time. I'm not into growing seedless watermelons because it's a little bit overly complicated for my taste. And my son's probably gonna grow these. So this year we're just gonna put 2 watermelon plants in his, I think it's a 6x3 bed. And that should give him plenty of root space to grow and plenty of just area for them to spread and do what they gotta do. And the vines should get pretty long. So we are excited, or I am excited about that. I haven't told him yet. And I won't tell him until it's time to go. But we will start these inside about a month before we plant out. And then we can just slip them right into the ground, minimal root disturbance, and kind of get a jump on them. These are longer seeds, 85 days. But again, a 50-pound watermelon was like this big. It was crazy. It was huge. And it was just something to, you know, sometimes you just got to grow something big. So we're going to give that a shot. I don't have the seed out here, but we're also, and we started them some last time, as Bobcat cabbage. And we did that because it was a hybrid, faster growing, and a bigger plant. So we got, you know, I think it was like 5-pound cabbages you can get off of it, which is, we want to do a couple of those just so we could grow less in less space. So we'll do that as well. But those are basically our new varieties for the year. And as mentioned in the watermelons earlier, and before I go, I want to show you my revelation about some of the issues I've had with one of my trellises this year and why we're kind of adjusting the way we plant on it. So the trellis I want to talk about is this cattle panel trellis. And I will say this side of the trellis, everything grows good on. This side of the trellis, the only thing I've gotten to grow on it is peas. And I do want to say why. I think I figured out that this 1-foot bed that goes all the way across is just not enough space for the roots to kind of spread out and do their thing for most vegetables. It seemed kind of crazy that I would try and plant stuff in there, but I've gotten stuff, you know, you put stuff in a pot, there's plenty of space, this, that, and the other. But we tried to do pumpkins on there to no avail. We tried to do squashes on there to no avail. We've tried to do watermelons and cantaloupes, no avail, but we've gotten peas and beans to grow on it. And when I was mentioning the crimson watermelon, putting 2 in the bed, that's kind of what set me off on this, is like, there's certain plants that I can put on this row here that I need to take advantage of. And so there'll be stuff with smaller root balls and stuff like that that doesn't need as much space. And so we're just in the future, we're going to keep that in mind as we do it. Man, that sun is blinding me. And just try to keep it real on that side of the trellis. I'm okay with not planting anything in there, because everything that I plant goes almost all the way over, or like that squash, that Seminole pumpkin, it went all the way over and then spread another 20 feet out. So it should work out pretty good, but that's kind of where we're sitting so far for this year. We will be starting seeds tomorrow, and I'll probably just do like a kickoff video about the first big seed start, because I'm not going to do a video for every start that I do, but for this one I will do it, and we can go from there. So it's exciting. It's already seed starting time, which means planting season is 8 weeks away.